Just a few seconds and just a few seconds. This is good morning, everyone. Facebook takes a few seconds to connect. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, live via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Confusions and clarity. Confusions and clarity. There is a deep connection between your confusions that mind creates when a particular circumstance and situation comes and clarity. Certainly, clarity comes out of understanding your confusions. Mind goes on creating confusions. That's the very nature of the mind. But understanding comes from beyond the mind. Understanding is the light. When it assumes a form, then it becomes understanding. First of all, it is in the form of light. And then the light and then the same light assumes a different form. The light falls on the bud, its petals begin to open. Light becomes the beauty. Light becomes the fragrance. Its form changes. And then it was light in the beginning, but afterwards the light has become the fragrance, the beauty, the aura that surrounds the flower. Its very essence. In the same way, first the confusion comes, When there are confusions and you are not able to understand what is the nature of all this, light descends. Light starts falling on all those. Then a clarity comes and you begin to understand the deeper phenomena, the reasons behind all that is happening in and around you. And there is a tremendous beauty in that you begin to understand. Someone has asked, when feelings and emotions arise out of me, they do not seem like just one thing. These always stir confusions inside me. In that state, I do not know which emotion it is. It seems half of the one thing and half of another. Indeed, the confusion is if it is something to be concerned about. Someone had asked, when feelings and emotions arise out of me, they do not seem like just one thing, an entire episode, a mountain. These always stir confusions inside me. Feelings and emotions, when they arise, they create confusions inside me. And in that state, I do not know which emotion it is. It seems half of one thing and half of another. Amalgam. It seems half of one thing and half of another. Indeed, the confusion is if it is something to be concerned about. Yes, confusion is something that we need to be concerned about. There is no need to be concerned about confusions. There is no need to be concerned about confusions. Simply go on living, go on and on living. Live your confusions and do not try to get out of it. If you try to get out of it, nothing will happen. Do not try to get out of the confusions. Instead, live through them. The more you try to solve the confusions, the more are created. A confused mind cannot get out of confusions in any way. This is the very essence. A confused mind cannot get out of the confusions. If mind tries to get out of the confusion, it will be like pulling yourself up by your shoelaces. It will further accentuate your confusions. Try to understand this. A confused mind cannot get out of the confusions that comes by way of a particular circumstance or situations when it falls around you. If mind tries to get out of the confusions, it will be like pulling yourself up by your shoelaces. You're holding your shoelaces and pulling it up. It will further accentuate more confusions in you. The only way to come out of confusion is to accept it. Yes, there is confusion in my mind. Everybody is confused. Otherwise, all would have been Buddhas. Buddha is very simple yet a rare phenomenon to happen. A rare phenomena to happen. Everybody is confused, otherwise all would have been Buddhas and the whole world is confused. Confusion is intrinsic to human mind. Confusion is intrinsic to human mind. There is no need to run away from it. It's a beauty to enjoy the confusions. And then you see how the confusions vanish from your life. The confusion has a very fundamental reason. There is ontology, the most general branch of metaphysics. Ontology is the most general branch of metaphysics that is concerned with the nature of the being. Confusion has a very fundamental reason. There is ontology. And what is ontology? The most general branch of metaphysics that is concerned with nature of the being to confusion. Man comes from the animal, and man has to attain to godliness. A long distance, long journey from animal to Godhead. Man comes from the animals and man has to become God. That is the confusion. The small petty things about which you seem to be confused. You do not know the essence, what is the confusion really is and what does it really mean. Confusion means you are coming out of the state of animalness and you have not yet attained to godliness. You have not attained to that essence, God. Half belongs to the world of animals, the unconscious part of your life, and the other half is trying to become conscious. Absolutely conscious, trying to become absolutely conscious, hence the tension and the confusion is always at the core. The confusion is at the core because half of you is still living in a state of unconsciousness. Things are emanating out of, springing from the unconscious layers. That is the animalistic layers. And the other half is trying to become conscious, absolutely conscious. Hence the tension and confusion is always at the core. Both go on trying to manipulate you and you are never sure who you are. The problem is you are never sure of what you are actually. Are you an animal or animal that is unconscious, or you are conscious? And the confusion arises when you are on the borderline of unconscious and conscious. And how to move from one realm to another. The gravitational pull of unconsciousness is pulling you down, and the gravitational force of the consciousness is pulling you upward. You are in a limbo, and that state of limbo is confusion. When a spacecraft moves, it is moving at a certain speed towards its destination beyond the horizon of the earth. It is going against the gravitational pull of the earth. Earth is pulling itself and it is propelling itself towards the other realm. When it reaches a crossroad where the earth's gravitational force is getting less and less, and the gravitational force of the other planet, where it, other realm, planet, let us put it as in that state, as a realm, another realm is trying to create its pull on you. There is a limbo. One is pulling down, one is pulling up. I understand once Mullah Nasruddin was caught in stealing. And then when he went to the magistrate's court, magistrate was ready to impose the punishment. He said, "Sir, you can give me any punishment, but don't ask me to get married again. You can get me any punishment, but not." He said, "Why so?" He said, "I went to steal in a house. The man had 2 wives. 2 wives? Yes, sir. One was living on the ground floor, the other was living on the first floor. Or, in the Western terminology, one was living on the first floor, the other one was living on the second floor. The one that was living on the first floor had held on to the legs of the man, and the one who was living on the first floor, she held on to the hands of Mullah, hands of the man, and both were trying to pull. The first floor was trying to hold on to the legs and was pulling him down. "Don't go there, come stay here with me." The other that has held on to the arms very strongly, she was pulling him upward, "Come upstairs." And the man was in a limbo. So you can give me any punishment, I will accept it, but don't punish me, please, to get married again. This is the situation. The gravitational pull of the earth is pulling you down. A certain amount of force is needed to offset that gravitational force of earth. So the other planet or the other realm where you are trying to enter into, that is exerting its pull towards you. So at that time, the spacecraft increases so much force that it dispels the gravitational force of the earth, this has to be done by the spacecraft, the mechanism of the spacecraft, so that it can nullify the effect of the gravitational pull of the earth, so that the gravitational pull of the other realm pulls you up at full and you are up. That is the only way, and that time it takes a quantum leap. Without that it cannot. It leaves the quantum leap like a quantum mechanism. The gravitational pull of the earth is nullified, and the gravitational pull of the other planet pulls upward, and you have entered into another realm. The gravitational pull of the unconscious is pulling you towards the animalistic state. You have to make an effort to propel yourself, because in a spacecraft we use the term not flying but propelling yourself into how to propel yourself into the other realm. The entire mechanism remains there. You propel yourself from there to enter into the realm of the consciousness. Half belongs to the world of animals, the unconscious part, and the other half is trying to become conscious, absolutely conscious. Hence the tension remains there, the confusion is there. Confusion and tension always remains at the core. Both go on trying to manipulate you, and you are never sure who you are. Where to go, whether to go this way or that way. That is the very essence of confusion. That is the very essence of tension, whether to go this way or that way, and you consider yourself to be intelligent. Narrating this, I do not know whether to go this way or that way. Oh, what a poor state. And you consider yourself. Tension is the improper use of your intelligence. If you are really intelligent and you know how to use your intelligence to propel yourself out of that particular situation, that I call intelligence. how to propel you from one realm to enter into another. How to propel yourself out of the subconscious and unconscious state to propel into the conscious state. That's where what is intelligence is. Intelligence is an inborn quality. How to utilize the limited resources that you are at your hand to propel yourself from one realm to the other, from a state of utter confusion to the state of utter clarity. You are entering into another realm, entering into the other realm. Both go on trying to manipulate you, and you are never sure who you are, whether to go this way or to that. You are being pulled between these two states, and then confusion arises. Life becomes a chaos. But who's created that? Who had created that? And you very proudly say, I am very confused, I do not know what to do. Learn to use your intelligence properly. Tension is improper use of your intelligence. You can write it and put as a quote on the wall, and whenever you see it, it starts creating its grooves into your consciousness. Tension is improper use of your intelligence. The moment you know how to use your intelligence, you have all the tools in your hand, but you do not know, then you become like Uncle Pojer, hangs a picture on the wall. During the college days, there was a chapter, Uncle Pojer hangs, name Uncle Pojer, hangs a picture on the wall. And the whole wall become the holy with the nail here, nail there, and he is not able to use. And finally he takes the hammer and hammers out to his thumb. The other time the nail goes onto his thumb and he pongs the hammer. Plum. Bleeding. And this is what your situation is. You have to know how to manipulate. And the whole day he is trying to hang a picture. The wall become marked with the holes of the nail, but not finding the correct technique. This is your state. You are trying to hang a picture on the wall. And so many holes here and there and all. Never try to escape from confusions, because it is for the heart to suggest your problems and it is for consciousness to solve them. This I learned very early in life. It is for the heart to suggest, emotions to suggest our problems, to create the problems, and it is for the intellect, for the consciousness to solve it. For the consciousness to solve it. Never try to escape from it, live it. This is life. Love it. Go deeper into it. The moment you go deeper into the problems, into the question, that's where the solution lies. I am not looking for solution here and there and asking this one and that one, looking for the solutions in this scripture and that scripture. They're all rubbish. There's always a blind man asking for the light. And that's what all the scriptures are. All the scriptures begin with a blind man searching for light. What did Buddha said? I can cure your eyes, but I cannot show you light. I can give you the vision that but light you have to see on your own. And the moment you see the light on your own, you can pinpoint, yes, this is the door. So far, you had been trying to come out of the walls, through the walls, and walls do not have the way to come out. You have to Open your eyes. The door is there always. The solution is always there in every problem, every tension, every confusion. But you are sitting down with your eyes closed and bouncing here and there and then crying. That where is the door? I cannot come out of this situation. Open your eyes and see. The door is there always. Every room has a door. And if the room does not have a door, then what it is? Grave. You have converted your room into a grave and then you are lamenting. How can I come out of that? Open your eyes. The door is there. Open the door and come out. Forget about all the scriptures. I am not interested in any scriptures now. They are there for people like you who come. So when somebody comes and he picks up a book or the other from the library, lost in that, I am saved. So I can spend time in my solitude. And that is it. Never try to escape from any state of confusion or conflict or anything. Live it. This is life. Love it. Go deeper into it. And by getting deeper into it, you will be surprised. Your eyes are becoming clearer and clearer. As you look deeper into your confusions, it starts sorting itself out. The moment you start looking deep into your confusions, it starts finding the solution, sorting it out. Indeed, confusion will disappear only when the animal in you stops asserting itself. When unconsciousness will stops asserting itself, confusion is over. This is your unconsciousness. First, this assertion has to stop. And then God too has to stop asserting itself. Unconsciousness asserts itself and God also asserts itself. Then you are not being pulled by the two forces, just as happened in case of that man. The first floor lady is pulling him, holding on to his legs. The other pulling him, holding on to his arms. Both of them are exerting their force. So when the two are exerting their force, there is no movement. The movement will be there when one starts exerting its force on you, and then ultimately the other also stops exerting its force. Once you understand this, your effort continues. Your efforts continue, then suddenly clarity comes, not before that. First, the animalistic state stops exerting its force, then the godly force starts exerting its force. You are not being pulled by either of the two. Once you understand this and your effort continues even after that, then suddenly clarity comes. That's all. If one goes deep into any problem, one arrives at a solution instantaneously. I am not speaking on behalf of any scripture or anything. I am speaking to you out of my own experience. I am speaking to you out of my own experience. If you go deep into the problems, into the confusions, you will arrive at the solution. The solution is hidden in the problem. It is never outside. And you are seeking is outside, here, there, and this is scripture or that is scripture. Once Rabindranath Tagore was on his boat. It was full moon night. He was sailing through the river. The moonlight was falling on the trees, on the boat, on the water was shimmering with the moonlight. the trees around, and he was trying to know what the light, what the beauty is, trying to find the solution, trying to find the answer to this question, what is beauty in the scriptures. He's tired. Eyes were becoming drowsy. Wants to go into the sleep. But he was intent upon knowing what beauty is. Suddenly, the window was open. He was in his boat, trying to find the answer to the question, what is beauty? All of a sudden, a breeze blew out the candle. When the candle blew out, suddenly the moonlight plunged into the room. Now that which was hindering the entry of the moonlight into the cabin was no more there. So, oh my God, beauty was all around, surrounding me, was right here, on the moonlight falling on the water, and water is shaking. You can see the reflection of the moon to weaving. The trees on the two sides of the river, they were shining in their pristine beauty. All of a sudden, Ravindra realized that vainly I was searching for the meaning of beauty in this scripture and that, and it is not there. It is right here, this very moment. The solution is there. The solution is hidden in the problem. It is never outside. It is the first message that I remember after enlightenment. This is the first message that I remembered after enlightenment, and the message came in a very unique situation. That message came in a very unique situation. It was 1972, month of May. After enlightenment, I continued the professional career as an economist and researcher. I was working on the books on econometrics and mathematical economics. There were certain mathematical and statistical problems that I was not getting the solutions. No solution was coming, because at the end of each chapter you have to give a problem relating to that particular chapter, and also a little hint about the methodology, how to go into that question, and then the final solution of it. So that solution has to be very clearly in my mind, and then based on that I give certain hints to the students. There were certain mathematical and statistical problems, and I was not getting the solutions to these. In that state, I decided to go to cafeteria. So I went to the cafeteria. I used to save the meager resources that I had at my hand for transportation and for buying the books. My first interest was, whenever I had the money, I will buy a book. I will go to the bookshop, read the books, see which one appeals to me. So the people in this bookstore had become used to my coming, allowing me to read, and then they know that as soon as I will get the money, I will come and buy that book. So I had to save the money, but then because of this state of confusion, I decided to go to the cafeteria and said that I will order certain things. That's the cafeteria used to serve the South Indian foods. So I ordered. The problem was very much impinging on my mind from all the sides. You are trying to cover yourself with the umbrella, with the breeze blowing so much that umbrella got upside down. The rain is falling on you from all the sides, and whatever rain is falling on the ground is also affecting you in every possible way. That morning I ordered more things than I would normally do. Normally I will just take a cup of tea or maybe a light snack that I could manage financially and then go on in my work. Ordered normally. Suddenly the words emerged from deep within. And the words that emerged, it is for the heart to suggest the problems, and it is for the awareness to. That time I had used the word. It is for the heart to suggest our problems, and it is for the mind to solve it. But afterwards, I change it. I change mind to awareness. It is for the heart to suggest its problems, and it is for the awareness to solve them through understanding and intellect. It was like a eureka to me, found it. I ran to the faculty room and remained glued to my desk for almost 36 hours without being bothered about eating anything, drinking, or going to the restroom facilities. Those 36 hours were the hours of great benediction. It was like eureka to me. I ran to the faculty room and remained glued to my desk for almost 36 hours, even without bothering for anything, and got all the solutions. Since then, it is my watchword through the life's roads. It's not that life had been easy for me. It was not a bed of roses. But I have never bothered. I knew from the early dawn that the flowers and the thorns are always together. Thorns are there to protect the flowers, and flowers is the blossoming of the thorns. And now I am sharing this insight with you. With you. Every moment existence wants to assert you with something mysterious. Every moment existence wants to assert you with something mysterious. It waits for your openness. It waits for your openness. The problem is simply an indication that the solution is within you and you are not looking for it there. You are looking for it elsewhere. So go into your confusions, allow it to assert itself, watch it and see it. And do not be in a hurry to get out of it, because whenever one is not in a hurry to get out, understanding stops completely. Whenever one is in a hurry to get out, understanding stops completely. What is the point of understanding something which you want to drop? And you cannot drop it unless you have understood it. And that is the dichotomy. Try to understand it, and in that very understanding, confusion disappears completely. In that very understanding. Clarity comes out of understanding your confusions, and answers comes by going deeper into your problems. Always remember this. Clarity comes out of the understanding your confusions, and answers come by going deeper into your problems. Certainly one day it happens. All confusions are gone. All confusions and gone are problems too. Problems too disappear, and you are left all alone. The beauty of that aloneness is nirvana, or enlightenment. No problems, no confusions, no conflicts. The beauty of that aloneness is nirvana, or enlightenment. All remains as it is. Only now between you and the reality there is no more clouds. Between you and existence there are no more clouds. Everything is the same, so too you are the same. The world is the same. It is just something between the two, the confusion. That cloud is no more there. The cloud is no more there. Look deep in your confusions. There is no need to be worried about it. Do not be concerned about it at all, because concern means that you are getting ready to escape out of it. The moment you are concerned about your confusions means you are trying to escape out of it, run away from it. This is the reason people create devices. They repress it. They avoid it. They do not look at it. Or they start distracting your mind through some other channels. Do not allow your mind to be distracted from your confusion. But all these things are not going to help you in any way. They will make you more and more confused. In an effort to avoid confusion, you will create another. Try to avoid one confusion, one state, another will be created. To avoid that, you will create still another, and the process goes on and on, unabated. Never avoid the first one. Go into it, watch it, let it be your meditation. Your meditation is going into your state of confusion or tension or the problem that you have. Go into it. It is there. It must be there. When something like that happens, there must have been some significance, because nothing exists without a significance. Nothing exists without a significance. It is there for certain reasons to teach you. In Mayor of Casterbridge, Thomas Hardy speaks a sentence through the clergyman. There are problems, confusions, conflicts around him. And he says, this is soliloquy. Why do miseries and misfortunes come to a clergy? Why do miseries and misfortunes come to clergy? Simply to enhance the favors of Almighty. Is a soliloquy that Thomas Hardy spoke through the clergyman. Why do miseries and misfortune come to a clergy? Simply to enhance the favors of Almighty. Simply to enhance the favors of Almighty. Simply to enhance the favors of Almighty. By and by you will feel thankful for it, because looking into it you will become clear. When you look into it, clarity will come to you. More meditative, more alert, more aware. Then finally you will thank your confusions. I have learned the art of thanking my confusions and problems, that you have helped me to enter into another realm. Had you not been there, I would have not been today what I am. It is you, the confusions, the conflict, that had given me this state of serenity, this state of tranquility. Then finally you will thank your confusions that it is you who have helped me. You will realize that it was an opportunity, that your confusion, your conflict was an opportunity to grow into awareness. The moment you realize, the beauty dawns at you. It was just an opportunity. That was the confusion, and the conflict is like an opportunity knocking at your door. It is just as an opportunity knocking at your door to help you to grow into awareness. The whole perspective changes then. Then you will not like to run away from the circumstances, situations. The Naqshbandi Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan, he told his disciple Lala Ji Ramchandra Ji Allah Ta'ala Anhu, तुम मुझे तकलीफ़ों से बचाते हो, try to save me from the conflicts and confusions. Whatever conflicts and confusions I get through you, I rejoice those. I rejoice those. It was, remember, the conflict and the confusion is nothing else but an opportunity knocking at your door. Conflict and confusion is nothing else but an opportunity knocking at your door. Knocking at your door. And it is trying to help you to grow into awareness. What else remains? Why was I talking all that when it was only this thing? Conflict and confusion is simply an opportunity that was knocking at your door. For what it was knocking at the door? To give you the gift. And you are afraid that I don't know if I open the door, will that be a bandit, will that be this, will that be that? Why at the middle of the night somebody is knocking at my door? Should I open or should I not? You hide yourself like the ostrich does in a state of conflict, in a state of fear. It hides its face in the sand and feels that the conflict, the fear has gone. That is your situation. The confusion and conflict was just an opportunity that was knocking at your door to help you grow into awareness. That is it. Finished. That is it, and I am finished. Are you? But I am finished. Only this much for now. You will realize that it was an opportunity that was knocking at your door to help you to grow into awareness. Nothing else. Only this much for this morning. Take care and do have a pleasant day.